dear students, now look, we have another example about quadratic inequalities where they are giving us again the factors instead of the equation or the function, okay? Now, it says that the product of these two factors is less than 0. We have to check which are the values that can be taken for x and give us like a true answer, okay? Now, again, step number 1, we solve for x in both factors. So we equalize x minus 6 equals 0 and x minus 1 equals 0, and then we solve for x. In the first factor, we get that x equals 6, and in the second one, we get that x equals 1. So then we go to the number line or the coordinate plane here, which is 1 and 6. Here I have the roots. Remember that we have a parabola here. And again, we check. As this x is positive and the other one is also positive, we get positive x to the second. As the leading coefficient is positive, this parabola is going to open upwards. So we have a parabola like this. Okay? Do you remember that? I don't want you to get the vertex and anything. No. I just want you to plot here a draft so you can realize about the answers. Now, dear students, remember this parabola is opening, also. Okay? Good. Now, this is step number 2. And I want you to check now, dear students, focus in the inequality here. This is less than, and we don't have the line that says or equal. So if we don't have the or equal here, are we going to have here a full dot or a hole? Remember, this is a hole. So here I'm going to plot a hole, a huge hole, and another hole here. Okay, so I can realize that this is a hole. Good. Now, let's continue with step 3. Remember that we're going to take one number, which is, or a value, which is less than the smallest root, and then we continue taking another one which is between these two roots, another one which is greater than the greatest root. So we start with this one. A number which is less than the smallest root could be 0, and it is easy for us to do calculations. So when x equals 0, dear students, and then we substitute every x that we have here in the factors by 0. So we have 0 minus 6 and 0 minus 1. And we get, in this case, we get minus 6 times minus 1. It is positive 6. Is positive 6, dear students, less than 0? No. So this is false, sad face. Now we know that this part of the values which are less than 1 are not part of the solution, nor number 1, because number 1 is not included because here we have a hole, remember. Okay? Now, let's continue. Step number 4. We are going to take another value or number which is between 1 and 6, not included any of them, okay? So we can take, for example, number 2, which is here, okay? Now, when x equals 2, dear students, we have 2 minus 6 times 2 minus 1. Here we have first 2 minus 6 is minus 4 times 1. And we get in the end minus 4 is less than 0. Yes, now this is true. Now we know that this is part of the solution. So we're going to plot a line here from the first hole to the second hole, because I know that the roots are not going to be part of the solution. Remember why? Because we don't have here the equal sign. Okay? Now, good. And also, because if you take the number 1 or 6 and if you substitute them instead of x, in the place of x in the factors, you are going to get false. Okay? That's why. X cannot take these two values, 1, 6, nor the smaller numbers than 1, nor the greatest number than 6. Let's check this part, okay? Here we have a common behavior that when you get true in this part, in the numbers that are smaller than the smallest root, also you are going to get true in the other part. So when you have true here. in the numbers which are greater than the greatest root. But if you get false here, you get false here, and usually you get true in this part, in the center of the parabola. Okay? This is a common behavior. Now, let's check. We are going to take a number which is greater than the greatest root, which is 6. I'm going to take 7. And we are going to substitute it in x. So we get 7 minus 6, 1. 1 times, and then 7 minus 1, 6. When we multiply them, we get 6. Is 6 less than 0? No, this is false. So that's why we know that this is not part of the solution. Now remember what I was telling you? We have a parabola, and that means that all the values here are part of the solution. I mean, when you take, for example, 1 point something, it works because 1 point something is greater than 1. And we get, so also number 2, 3, 4, 5, and 5.9 also is going to be part of the solution because it is less than 6. Okay? And 6 and 1 are not included. Good, dear students. I hope you have no doubts, but if you have doubts, you can ask me during the class or in the tutoring time. So, take care, stay at home, and have a nice day. Bye, dear students. Mwah.